Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma for those of you who are new here, and today we are back with The Sims 4 with a speed build. This is a speed build for my very veggie legacy that I have going on YouTube, the Broccoli Gen. In the last episode we came into some money, and so I decided to give the house a little bit of a revamp, as well as building our small business on the same lot as the house. It did take me quite a while to figure out the shape of the house just because I didn't know how to go about doing the small business with the house. So hopefully, you know, it looks good. I think it does. I did have to look up some reference photos, just a couple, just to kind of get like an idea, because again, this is a type of style that I never really build. And I did end up making the house just a wee bit small, just because I think this lot is a bit small for a house and a business. I think if it was just a house, then it would be fine. So in the future, when we upgrade that house, we'll definitely have to move out. I'm to a different lot, I'm pretty sure. And I went for dark woods for the outside and light wood tones for the inside. I thought it went well with everything. And I didn't want stairs or anything too crazy. And I think I went a bit minimalist outside. There is landscaping, there's fencing, there's a lot going on. It is very cute, and I did, do a decent enough job. But I didn't go overboard with the landscaping. I just didn't think it was needed. And that brick fence that I raised up some lights and put it in like the posts, so it added a cool little touch to it. Um, I really don't have much to say about the outside, so I don't really know what to talk about regarding the outside. I made the house green. I did want to make the florist, since it is going to be a florist, kind of, you know, flowery. So I did put in some curtains that have that's literally like just plants. And I thought that added a nice little touch, and we'll see that later on as we go. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out which windows I wanted and figure out the placement. Again, I was looking at references, so I was trying to figure out what I liked better from like the reference photos. There were just a lot of different options, and I had so much fun building this. And I don't really do this a whole lot just because I don't really play with the small businesses a lot just because I don't like them. I think that it's not involved enough for me to find real joy out of playing it. So I typically don't play with them. And if I do a store or something, it's like a retail lot where my sim has to interact with people to, be able to sell things. So I did have a lot of fun doing this, and I am having a lot of fun playing this series on my YouTube channel, and you guys seem to be enjoying it a lot compared to the other ones, probably because I've been editing my videos and it's not, 2 hours long. So I hope you guys enjoy the speed build. I think it turned out really good. And you can see Lolly there and her girlfriend standing on the side. I decided to build on their lot instead of in the map area, just so that I could keep track of the money situation. As you can see, we got a lot from deleting that small tiny house that I built her, and we did use majority of it. I think I have like 16 grand left over, which I think is a nice little cushion for bills and everything now that we're no longer a tiny home. And that's a little sad, but I did reap the rewards of having a tiny home for a while, and we got her skills up and everything. So I thought it was time to get out of the tiny home. That little bump out I did make into a balcony. I thought it would be a nice little place for Lolly and Selena to do their wellness and, their yoga, their morning meditation, whatever they wanted to do. If we need the room before I'm ready to move them out of this house, then we will be making it into a bedroom. But I don't think that's necessary. I did make a nursery, however, they don't have kids and they're nowhere close to having kids because I want them to have kids after they're married. And they're still dating. They're not even proposed yet. So we've got plenty of time. So, but I do have the Purple Gen's nursery built and decorated, kind of, not too much. I didn't go overboard with it just because they're not even conceived yet. So I have no idea what the gender is. I have no idea, the personality that the infant's gonna have. So I didn't decorate too much. I just put like the basic necessities down and in there. And that's pretty much it. The only downside is that I don't have a dining room. We still do not have a dining room. We didn't have a dining room in the last house, but at least now we actually have a living room. And we do have a pretty small kitchen. I probably could have moved where I initially put the staircase to allow us some more room. However, I didn't think about it at the time. And I kind of liked the thought of the staircase being primarily in the back of the house, just because it opened up a hallway to get to the balcony. And I did put her greenhouse back, just because we have a lot of flowers and stuff that we plant so that we can make the flowers that we sell. I figured it was not something I was willing to give up. Um, I'm just not I don't like waiting for the seasons. So a greenhouse is always a great way to go. So right now, I'm just trying to figure out the floor plan of the house. I did it in a few different ways, and I ended up not liking. It wasn't that I didn't like it, I just really wanted to fit a bathroom that had a bathtub. That way we didn't have to go to the one in the small business, and I did end up changing the top floor plan quite a bit, so this is not even the final product of it. We won't get to that until I'm actually like up there decorating. I realized that the rooms were too small. I was having issues with the double bed for the parents' room, and I was just not willing to. I'm playing in this house. And I just really find it annoying when the bed is like pushed up onto like the side because then you have to see who's the most tired and then put them in first. And then, if they wake up due to some reason, then they're both up and they glitch out of the bed. And there's just a whole bunch of problems with that. So I was just very not interested in dealing with that. Another thing that I couldn't figure out is I didn't have enough space for the wall that I sell all of the tattoo prints that Lolly makes. So unfortunately, we do not have those. I did get rid of those signs or shelves and I did replace it with that one. I figured that holds 6 and that is all that we pretty much sell and that would work and it looks a little bit nicer. I did add in a coffee bar just because I wanted the florist to kind of be like a florist coffee area, and I was trying to figure out how to do this, and I just couldn't with the wall thing that to sell. I just couldn't because I wanted tables and stuff. I wanted the aesthetic to look right, and I just couldn't. We'll bring it back later for sure. Um, It could always be something that we place outside as we're playing as well, or we wait until we have a bigger space and a bigger lot to actually, be able to place it somewhere because eventually I want the store to be so big that, we can give lessons, um, and do that stuff. I did try to figure out if I could separate the bathrooms and kind of do like two bathrooms. That didn't work, so I just placed on the bathtub. So if you saw the two toilets, that's what that was. I was just trying to play with it a little bit. But as I was saying, I want the store to be bigger. I want a bunch of different rooms and space to allow us to do different things. And we're eventually going to be tattooing anyways and getting like a tattoo table anyway so that we could tattoo people. But we just don't have the space for that right now. And that's okay. We can figure that out and eventually it will happen. And I love those like little bookshelves. They come in so handy when you don't have a bunch of like space, but you have a bunch of wall space. So I love the vibes of the Florist so much. And I did want to put in a plant, and I liked that business and hobbies plant. However, it's just so big because I don't like the leaves to like clip through the walls too much. It was just a lot to try and figure out. And I end up putting like a little stool outside on that patio that is from Adventure Awaits, which I've never seen, and I thought it was so cute. And I did end up putting their picture up in the business. I just thought it went well nice on that shelf, and I liked the look of it. Right now, we're going to be moving into the living room, and this is such a big living room, and I'm so pleased that I was actually able to fit as much as I could into this living room. And I was trying to be conscious about how much money we were spending. I know we do have a lot of it, but I was really worried that if I spent too much, then, if we needed it for some reason, like if we got audited again, since we are doing the small businesses, that I wouldn't be able to pick the side where I'm, paying my taxes and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. If we don't have the money, then we won't be able to click on that option. And then I'd have to do the schemer side. And I don't want to do that. I don't see Lolly being a schemer. So I definitely wanted to leave us with some kind of cushion. And I think I did that pretty good. And I love that TV so much. And it made me so happy because it's vegetables. And I was like, this goes in so well. And I am trying not to clutter too much. I just don't feel like they'd have a bunch of clutter around, especially since the space is so small and right now it's just the two of them in the house. So I did try to limit how much clutter I used, and this is the kitchen and it's very small. So I definitely didn't add too much into it. I did wall off a little square because I just couldn't figure out in my brain how to like what to use for that space or like how to have it flow nice. So I just walled it off and put a trash can that empties itself in there. That way I don't ever have to deal with it. And I forgot about the trash can until like way later on in the video. So like that was just my solution. Was just sticking it into the 1x1 square and calling it a day. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee real quick. Nothing beats coffee at 10 o'clock in the morning. It did take me a long time to find this painting from one of the like kitchen clutter kits. It took me forever to find it, but I did find this cute green sign and I was like, yes, sign me up. That would be perfect for the business. And I realized that it's raised a little bit higher later down the line, so I do readjust it just more towards the end of the video. And the candle from Little Slimsy's Gamer Pack, I love. I use it everywhere. It's that picture. I can never find it in the picture category. I don't know why. It's a picture frame, but I can never find it unless I physically look it up from the pack and from the show wall. I don't know if anyone else has that problem, but I do. And it's a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. I I thought for a quick second, I was so delusional for a quick second that maybe we had room for a small island. We did not. We did not. So this what I'm trying to figure out, this was me trying to figure out the bathroom, and at first I kind of figure out something to do with the bathroom and I settle on just a shower because like obviously it's a shower, it'll fit type of thing. Um, but later we're going to change it because I rearranged the upstairs. I think we're about to get into the parents' bedroom, and that's where I kind of was like, oh, this is not gonna work. So I didn't realize how big the double beds were actually, and theoretically, it's usable as long as it's not placed on the side like that. It's usable, but there's no side tables that were small enough that I could fit. And I even tried to like delete the wall, maybe make it a loft situation. It was just too small. Too small, it was not going to work. So I did have to kind of rearrange. And I did try those tall side tables, but like there's no way. That looked so ridiculous. There's no way I was going to do that. So, and I tried to do that, but it just looked so cramped. There was just no way. The bathroom had to go. Unfortunately, it just had to go. It did make the kids' bedroom look a little bit weird shaped, but that's okay, because, you know, Lolly wants to have, I want my Sims to have a lot of kids. So we're going to be outgrowing this house anyways and making a new one. And if you guys want to see that one built as well, then just let me know and I will definitely record it like I did this one. But I just, I was just like, they're going to be an infant, maybe a toddler in that bedroom, so they'll be fine. The small space, they'll be fine. And the bathroom kind of took on a weird shape. Because again, I was trying to fit a bathtub. And I wanted the bathtub to be accessible because this is how you clean your toddlers and you clean your infants. And, I'm playing in this house, so I definitely want it to work and function and, kind of be able to move around and stuff. And this was what I ended up getting done with the bathroom. It looks weird. I will say that it does. It looks absolutely weird. But it was the best that I could come up with at the time. I don't know if I will keep it like that. I don't know if I'll change it. I don't know. I already built the house though, so I think I'm just gonna suffer through. If it sucks, it sucks. And if it doesn't, then it won't. I did put that butterfly thing there because I thought it would be kind of cute for the kiddos and for Lolly to grow butterflies and to collect butterflies. Especially since, she has some of the butterfly skill because of that romantic getaway she was on and she caught some butterflies and it was really cute. I just thought it would be something fun to do. I love the little caterpillars. They're so adorable and I don't know, I think it's such a fun little thing for your children to do. It's amazing, in my opinion. I did kind of have to move the door over a little bit, and I really hope your Sims can use this and it's accessible. This is also going to be on my gallery, by the way. ePoodle 27K, that's the gallery. You can go ahead and get it. You can get some of the other things that I have built over the years as well. I don't minimize what packs I use, so I am sorry about that, but I don't use any CC, so you should be all set there. I do hope that it's accessible. I'm pretty sure it is. I haven't played in the house yet just because I haven't sat down to record another video. I recorded 2 yesterday, so an actual episode and then the speed build. So I'm after that I was kind of like my shoulder was hurting and I had to stop. I had to stop playing. But I think today I might do another episode. So I wanted to have something to go above the bed, and I was thinking maybe shelves for like future pictures or like future like collectibles if our family ever stumbles into any collectibles. And then I wanted some pictures, but not too big, and I settled on those. And then I was just trying to find a rug. I loved the size of that rug, but it was not green enough. You know what I mean? Like, it was just not green. And I wanted like a green rug, kind of like an olivey green. That was kind of the vibe that I was going for that bedroom, and I wanted to keep it. And I did end up putting a bookshelf downstairs. Like I said, we actually have a full-sized living room now, and that's kind of amazing. Our kitchen's kind of small. We only have one bathroom, but we've got a nice sized living room. And this is the new wallpaper from the pack, so I really wanted to use it even if it like didn't look good. Um I really wanted to use it, and I did change the wallpaper a little bit, and it's been a while since I've done a speed build, so I did kind of forget that I needed to put temporary lights up and around so that you guys can see it better. So the next time that I do a speed build, I will definitely keep that in mind, and I am so sorry. But I'm putting in the lights right now, so it shouldn't be too bad. Um, and I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I did want I did like the dark brown vibes for the outside. I thought went very well, and it goes very well with like the green. I feel like when you're building an all green house, there's a lot of different greens, and it kind of all kind of blends together, and it's just very hard to make that look good. So I definitely wanted no green wood tones. Besides the stairs inside the house, obviously, that was fine. But I wanted the roof and stuff to just not be green and just the wall color to be green, and I thought that maybe that would be okay. I did put the butterfly house thing down. I did forget where exactly I settled on it. And now that I'm watching this, I'm remembering that I settled right there. And I did decide to just do like a little. I'm obsessed with building these. Like they're just so fun. It's like a puzzle. Do I want it to have stairs? Do I want it to have two slides? What do I want to do? And my phone is going off, so if you can hear that, I'm sorry. I doubt that you can, but just in case. Um, but yeah, no, I'm obsessed with making these. I don't think we'll have a kid to actually be able to use this stuff, but toddlers can play on it. And I'm sure we'll have one or two toddlers in that tiny little cramped room. I will figure it out. And they'll get used. And that's all that matters. So for the landscaping, I definitely didn't do too much like I typically do. I feel like I always go so overboard with my landscaping and making it look really extravagant and pretty and stuff. And I didn't do that. I went with very few things, and that was just that. I thought maybe the simplest, the better. This is a business. Maybe it wouldn't have too much going on. And then I liked this kind of tree that is, but I love it sized down, so I did use it in a couple places. And I just sized it down. We are in spring. No, I'm sorry, we're in winter because we just had Winterfest. We're in winter in San Sequoia, so there's no snow and all the trees are pretty much dead. So, and I'm obsessed with that little light tree. It kind of looks like a fairy tree, and I love it. I feel like I don't know, I feel like it adds a certain, I don't know, it just makes me happy? So I put in every single build I do. I don't know why, I just do. And I wanted the inside of the greenhouse to be kind of dirty with like dirt and stuff because it's a greenhouse. So, and I'm obsessed with with making greenhouses as well, especially when one of my Sims is gardening because it's just so amazing the stuff that comes in this kit. And I have so much fun just placing a bunch of this stuff around. And I don't know. I just think it adds something extra to greenhouses other than just, plants and planter boxes. I feel like it just does something different. I do put I do put some tables outside of the business just in case the ones inside are not accessible for some reason or just can't be used because of the flowers and the I end up putting a candle on it as well. And just in case like that's just not gonna be doable, I did place some more tables just in case, and I did want to place rugs and stuff that kind of had environment so that we get a boost in our business because we are trying to get it to 5 stars. So I was just trying to think of anything that would help, and I did think about using like a yellow orangey kind of wood in some of the spots, but I decided against it, seeing it against the green uh things that I have on the business, and so I got rid of it real quick. And I did change the light green that I have on the business to a stone. After I painted the rest of the house and I added stone to the house part of it, I was like, that just looks weird, so I'm gonna add some stone. And it was a little weird coloring this, I'm not gonna lie, but I think I did okay. And that's what I did. Okay, so I added stone to the front on the side so that it looked like that, and then I darkened the other bump out. That's what I did. Either way, I added stone to it. And then I just added like a little roof covering, and I didn't want to make it too extravagant or anything like that since we were running down on a little bit of money and I still had the uh next gen's room to do. So I did just do that, and I thought maybe it looked nice from the outside. Maybe, I don't know, it had green on it. I called it a day. And then I just hung up some of these fairy lights just all around the balcony, and I did have some problems with doing it, and it took me forever to actually get it to cooperate. But you guys only get to see a little bit of the struggle. um, yeah, a little bit of the struggle. It was a pain, and especially when I realized that they're not beside of each other, I had to redo it. It was difficult to say the least, but we did it. We did it. And I think after this we just move into the kids' room. I did debate on whether or not I should do that right now or not, and I decided to just go ahead and do it. I mean, we still had a little bit of money left over, so it was probably fine. And, I might be impulsive and have them have a kid later anyway. So definitely after I was done with the outside, I did that. And I did forget that I did this and made like a big spot for plants. And I put trash cans where Sims cannot get to them because I have so many Sims knocking down my trash cans, and that is so annoying. So I made it inaccessible to the Sims. And yeah, I didn't use too much landscaping. I did use some. There is no like back porch or anything just because I mean, there's no stairs, there's no nothing. It's not high enough for there to need stairs. So I thought it wouldn't matter. I hope it doesn't matter. I hope they could still get around. And I do end up putting the butterfly thing. See, I put it back. And I did add a grill just because, there's some holidays where you need to grill, holidays that I put into place. And I believe I'm doing the kids' bedroom. Yeah, okay. I thought maybe I accidentally cut it out, but no, it's here. An all purple bedroom is not my favorite, especially one this shape. And I did put a bassinet in the parents' room just in case. I'm impulsive. I like doing things out on a whim. I did decide to put up some butterflies just in case it was a girl. The future first baby's a girl. And I just like the idea that the butterflies are changing color as they get higher up onto the wall. And I couldn't really fit too much into this room. I did try to fit what I could, and I ended up moving the changing table just so that I could have a better place for whatever playmat thing that is. And yeah, I didn't do too much. I did not do too much. I do end up changing the crib though, because I wanted to use that hanging canopy thing because I never really use it, and this room is not the room for curtains. So I went ahead and just picked out the crib that went with the canopy, and I changed around some collars to try and make it a little bit darker in this room in the areas that I could. And I mean, hung up a few little things here and there, and that was pretty much it. I mean, it's not a huge room. I don't want to clutter it up too bad and then like not be able to, you know, get around, use it, stuff like that. And I did put, you saw that like Blarfy bear thing. That's from the event, and I think it's so cute. So I've been using it in every household. And I did the event. I got everything that I wanted: the onesies, the bear, the magnets. So happy. And I decided, I found the sign, and I was like, perfect. We have a business. We have a business. I could put it down here. I could put the like little seating stool up there. I did end up putting a bench over here just because I don't know. I wanted a bench. I thought about the fountain and then I was like, that's too much. That's too much. They're not fancy like that. That's too much. And so I just put a few stools and yeah, some light decorations, just some finishing touches. I thought the flower light thing was so cute, so I wanted to use it. And it looks like just a little bit more money than I thought I did. We're down to 13 grand, almost down to 12, which is fine because we still have a nice little cushion for, if any more audits happen. Those take like 4 grand from your household. It's insane. I did not think it would take that much money from me. And then I'm just adding some candles on the inside too. I don't know, I like the vibe. I wanted a very cozy vibe in here. You sell flowers, it's gotta be cozy. And then I moved the sign back down because it's just needed. And then I think that's it. This is just me getting like a shot of the house. Thank you guys so much for watching the speed build, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you enjoy watching the series as I post and record it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye bye. I ended a little bit early. Bye bye.